Live, presented by Fandom and Twitch. There are quite a few of you here because we have a very special group of guests joining myself and Jeff Leach down there. And of course, this is the cast of Resident Evil, the final chapter. We are joined by Milla Jovovich here. We've got William Levy, Owen Mackin, and Ali Larder. Thank you so much for being here. They are the cast. And then, of course, we've got Paul W.S. Anderson, the director, down there.
Yes.
So glad to have you guys here. And I would love to hear from each of you a little bit, like a brief snippet about your character in the movie, who you're playing, and what you're excited to share with everyone.
Sure. So this is the third time I've come back to reprise the role of Claire Redfield. And this was a really, exciting one to come back for because we got to go to Cape Town and Johannesburg in South Africa.
Wow, cool.
And where we pick up with Claire is that she was in a helicopter crash and she's found this group of survivors. And she's kind of watching them who've tried to create a life for themselves. And she lets her guard down for 1 second. And you definitely cannot do that in a post-apocalyptic world.
Definitely.
So you'll have to see what happens.
Ooh, good cliffhanger there.
Violence and gore and death and scary stuff, right? That's what happens.
Violence and gore and death and scary stuff.
And then Alice destroys everything.
Right.
Listen, it's a Resident Evil movie. Nothing good can happen. It has to be bad.
I mean, you're going to be destroying everything, but you've actually lost most of the powers in this film, haven't you, that you had prior to that? So this is a completely new challenge for the character of Alice.
Well, definitely. She has had superpowers in the past, but now, in a twist of fate, she doesn't. And she has to deal with things just being a normal badass rather than being a superhero badass, which is hard, you know?
That's just the day-to-day life you lead, Milla. Is that right?
Just being a normal badass, it's a challenge.
It's a full-time job.
But I'll take it.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Well, Owen, how about you?
Oh, sorry. So I play Doc, who's the leader of this gang of survivalists, I guess. There's a small disparate group of people still left in the world and everything else is destroyed. What are you laughing at me for? Right? And,
Going into the work he did.
And then Doc and Claire have this still kind of thing going on because you got to have romance wherever there's death and chaos. And then we got a little thing going on, which is more violent rather than romantic.
I feel like it's a rule of thumb that if you're going to have a leader of a group of survivalists, they have to be ruggedly handsome, bearded men. Is this true?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's no razors, right?
Well, yeah,
That's what it is.
There's
There you
nothing
go.
to eat, It's just so hard.
Right.
And
Rock hard abs. That's all you need out there.
muscly.
That's why the
tough
zombies
for the
don't want
zombies.
them.
They can't.
Not enough flesh on it.
There you go. It's all sinew.
It's just accuracy. Yeah, exactly.
Bone marrow. They just suck the bone marrow.
Oh, if
out.
I was part of your survivalist group, I'd be well out, mate. They'd be straight on those fat rolls. It'd be unbelievable.
Hey, there's not much to eat, so
There you go.
only zombies.
Tell us a bit about your character. Who are you playing?
My character is his name is Christian, and he's pretty. He's in the group of the survivors until Milla's character Alice comes in and then messes everything up. She messes everything
but
up.
you don't trust me at all.
I don't trust her at all. I mean, she's an outsider.
He's right. He shouldn't. Because whenever I come out, everyone's gonna die.
Every time you see a hot, beautiful woman,
It's
do
just
not trust
counting down a list of who's going to die
can't
first.
trust
I'm
really,
like,
isn't it?
don't worry, I'll save you all. They're like, no, you won't. I've seen the other movies.
You ain't gonna save nobody.
And Milla, this is the end of kind of a very long saga for you playing Alice. We know Alice very well, but what are we going to see in this movie that's a little bit new from her?
I think Alice has really spent the whole franchise trying to find out where she comes from and who she is. And here, a lot of those questions are going to be answered. And also, I think, even before that, I think for the first time, she really embraces who she is without all of the guilt and, the kind of self-hatred that she's had in the movies previous. I think now it's almost like, it's the end of the world, everything's screwed up, but you know what? I'm going to have fun with this.
I'm going to go out in a
what I
blaze
do.
of glory.
This is all I know. So she kind of has a bit of a smile through it, which I thought was really
I'm
fun.
sorry. Did you say this was Alice having a smile in this movie?
Does she smile?
I mean, a few times she smiles.
I thought I
mean,
saw
she
a
even
bit
laughed.
of
More like a
Smiles when
smirk.
she cries.
Maybe a wry smirk. And she also actually goes back to the source of where it all kicked off, back to Raccoon City,
That's
to
right.
basically take on Umbrella Corporation. So are we going to see any little moments of, reminiscing from the previous films? Are there any little fan base throwbacks that we have little moments we go, oh my God, I remember that from the first couple of movies?
Oh yeah, you definitely see the hive as you've never seen it before,
Nice.
and the glass corridor comes back, but in this really unique way that I think is so amazing. And when those lasers come out to chop me up, it's pretty rad what happens.
What's it like keeping together this ragtag bunch of ridiculously handsome people on set? Were they nice to work with, or?
Darling, please.
I say all the right lines.
They have to be disciplined, obviously.
Yeah.
So
Over the knee they go.
absolutely good spanking all round. But otherwise,
Owen's little face lit up there when you
Yeah.
said that. Spanking
Well, he
all
is
round.
British.
There you go. There's nothing wrong with a good firm hand to the buttocks.
Well, and I mean, this.
Hey, whatever you get you through the day, right? I mean,
Speaking of keeping this ragtag crew together, we're here at Comic-Con, of course. Obviously, so many people want to hear what's next for this, and you know, the responsibility of kind of closing this final chapter must be kind of hefty. What has it been like talking to people who
How
love
many
this
death
series
threats
here?
have you received so far, Paul?
well, I mean, the pressure was immense to actually bring the franchise to a successful close, because after 6 movies, we really wanted to make the best one in the franchise, and I honestly feel like we've done that. You know, I think this is the best, and I think it's great to bring it back to where it all began, back to the hive, back to the start.
Well, it's
and
really
back-
the only location, the only setting for it all to come to a close, really, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it makes perfect sense. And I had chills when we rebuilt some of those sets. Like it felt like walking back into
Is that when
our
you
own
saw the
history.
budget for how much that was going to cost? How much? Yeah, so you had chills seeing the sets being rebuilt. And why? Was it a bit of a trip down memory lane as well for some of what's gone before? How heavily is this film going to be influenced by what has gone before stylistically? Because as a director, you want to put your own
I mean,
stamp.
the whole like elevator where in the first movie we go down to the laser corridor was rebuilt exactly, and it was crazy to see like even the computer screens, which kind of look so old now, but were
but-
cutting edge like 15 years ago, and now you're like,
Well, we couldn't find
embarrassing.
we couldn't find any of those computers anymore because no one's
Really?
made them for a decade. So we actually had to build them. We had to laser
Wow.
cut the computers.
Yeah, they weren't even real.
But
they were 3D
identical.
printed, right?
They are.
Are they really? Wow. Well, you know, we're all definitely going to watch the movie and be very excited, but we always love to hear any behind the scenes, you know, things that may have happened on set or moments that were great to act for you guys. Were there any fun moments that you would pick out to share?
I have to say, oh sorry,
No.
no, me.
I,
I have to say.
the guy-
Please, Milla, you have to say.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
She has to. She has to
I'm
say.
joking. Come on. Go for it. Go for it.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Okay, so anyway,
So my favorite thing.
I love the turbine sequence. That was awesome. I mean, that was incredible. And, you know, this tunnel that we were in and this huge turbine starts spinning backwards and trying to suck us in. And we're having to, you know, climb away from it. But the wind is so strong. And then we suddenly start hanging in the
And
air.
then Paul's screaming, "I'm going to throw more dirt on them, throw more stuff," and then he's just throwing stuff at you, and it's
Oh
just
man,
yeah.
it was crazy.
That was pretty
Good
cool.
times.
And then they're
Good
getting
times.
sucked up in the air, and people are on wires, and Mila's hanging off wires and
oh
stuff.
my
and
god!
it
But
was-
what about the dog sequence when we were running all night? He had us running for literally 10 hours a night, running.
But it wasn't like we weren't running to get anywhere.
No.
Because you run, then you go do it again, and you kind of eventually go. I feel
No,
like
but
a
you know what?
dog.
It
I'm just-
looks like we're always in a different place, but it was the same path, and we would run there and then back again, and there and then back, and from different angles. It looks like this really long road, but it was really just.
I mean, you're whinging about
Back
it, but you
and
got
forth.
a month's worth of cardio in that night.
Oh
So
my
it's actually
God.
probably for the best.
feels like a madness.
Don't sell us
doesn't
short. It was not one night.
No. And what about when you're fighting
6
against the
weeks.
monsters in the film? How much of that is done CGI post production? How much of that have you got
No,
people
we
in
had to
makeup,
bring
prosthetics?
the monster in
Right.
from
The real
Tokyo.
monster.
From Tokyo.
Well, I mean, Mila does some incredible action stuff as usual. William has this great sword fighting scene where he's like pretty badass, doing all cool stuff. The whole movie is just crazy stunts and you beating the crap out of people,
I have
right?
to say, one of my favorite scenes is when I meet you guys for the first time, because that's like intense. And it's not like a big action scene, but it feels like it. It's just so crazy. And when I see you for the first time, Allie. I was about to say Claire. Claire, when I see you for the first time.
Well, tell them about that. So that's when we were up in Johannesburg and we were shooting at the Ponte Towers, and it's 44 floors up, and it's a circular building that was completely empty down the center. And we were shooting at the very bottom of it, and it really did feel like a post-apocalyptic world there. And what happened is that the people that were living there didn't want us there anymore, and they started throwing things out the windows.
What?
And when we'd go to the bathroom, we'd have to wear helmets because they were worried that someone would get us. And then we had to stop early. It was like
They
it
threw a
was
whole
real.
dining room set
At us.
down.
Wow.
Yeah.
From like
Nice.
45
Yeah.
stories.
I
So
think there's a
making
rawness.
friends in South Africa then, left, right, and
Well,
centre.
Right.
No, I think that they were trying to be friendly.
Yeah, they were like,
Like,
you'd,
that
look,
was
you'd
like-
look better with this
We love
dining
you
plate
there.
over your heads. That's
Just trying to get us into character,
there
right?
you go.
But Owen, I thought you were going to talk about your cool weapon that he had. Because everyone.
Oh, that
So-
was awesome.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
so-
It's a family show. Let's not talk about his cool weapon online.
Unfortunately, I have to wrap us up. We could talk all day. I would love to hear the story
No,
backstage.
no,
but-
it's a nail gun.
So I have this nail gun, right? And it sounds really
awesome.
cool. In the movie, it looks awesome. But on set, everyone's got these guns and they're firing bullets. And,
AK-47.
you know, and everything's happening. What? And then I have to go,
Nails in the head.
and I'm going. And Paul's like, "Oh, and you don't have to make the noises. We got post-production. It's okay."
Trying to get 2 fees. There we go.
Great. We can't wait to see all of this in action. Thank you guys so much. Where else can
you.
people stay in touch with
Thank
you
you.
at New York Comic Con? Is there any panels or any?
Yeah, let's see. And also, when's the dates of release? Let's tell the fans
Exactly.
when they can see it.
January 27th.
Yes.
2017.
Nice.
All right. We
Nice.
can't wait for Resident Evil, the final
Thank you
chapter.
guys
Let's give it
so
up for the
much.
cast. And guys, we'll be right back with